Hey, good afternoon, good evening, whatever I say. I don't know because I can still see the light outside and it feels like afternoon. That's the things about the summer, isn't it? You feel like you have you have a lot of time to spend your day. So anyway, let's get to the subject. Today video is going to be all about bookkeeping and accounting. And I have a qualified accountant with me, Temur, who will answer your question, whatever the question you will ask inside the live chat. He will be answering all your question as well. I want to tell you this video is sponsored by Osome as well, and I will leave the link for them inside the description. So make sure you check that out as well. The link for them will be inside the chat, and for the people who are watching in the replay, the link for that will be inside the description as well. Osome is the number one. I mean, I personally use it. So it's the number one platform for your bookkeeping and for your for your accounting solution. They're specially designed for e-commerce sellers like me and you as well. So as an e-commerce seller, we need to understand our requirements in the terms of bookkeeping and in the terms of accounting are a lot different than a generic account, but a generic accountancy or accountant have to offer as well. So they're very much specialized in e-commerce platforms. So I will I left the link inside the description. Make sure you check that out as well. And on the top of that, regardless wherever you are in your journey, if you're just starting out, they have something for you. This is very awesome about them. So their services are actually based on how much turnover you are having at the moment. So if you're just starting up, you want to do the company formation. If you are someone who is under the VAT threshold, they have a different plan for that. And if you're over VAT threshold, they have a different plan for that as well. So I wanted to put that away first. Let me bring the Temur over to the screen. And in the meantime, if you have any question, leave them inside the chat. If you're watching this in a replay, I can promise you this video gonna have tons of value. If you need the information in general about bookkeeping, about tax returns, about VAT, everything that you need to know about as an e-commerce seller, about your tax and bookkeeping, we will try our best to cover everything in this live session as well. So Temur, welcome again.
Thank you, Zen, for having me. It's really good to be back.
Okay, so do you want to introduce yourself, like what you do, what your profession?
Sure. So I'm one of the accountants here at Osome UK, and my main task is to look after the e-commerce clients. And what I do at the back end is to make sure the automation is in place. So Osome itself is a tech company before it's a finance company. So the tech revolves all around how to automate and make the e-commerce easy for all of the e-commerce sellers out there. So imagine you're on your Amazon, you rather than looking after your statements and trying to figure out how to do books for it, we have created a platform and a technology which is completely automated, and it brings all the information to your accounting softwares without any worry of your own. And as I said, my job there is to make sure that the system is accurate and the process is done on a very seeming, straightforward basis, and the difficulties are looked after. And obviously at the end of it, submitting the tax returns and finalizing your accounts. So anything from bookkeeping to your final accounts, that's what I look after, and I use Osome platform to help me with the automation of all of it.
Okay, so that's very helpful. In the terms of, okay, let's start, because I posted this that I'm going to be live with the qualified accountant from Osome. So if anybody have a question, so some of the viewers, they send me the question in advance as well, and there will be the question that we will be picking up which are relevant to accounting and tax returns. So the first question which somebody sent me as a private message over to the Instagram, what they wanted to actually ask is, for someone who have no idea about the tax and how the VAT works, and this is I mean, we are at the end of our financial year 2020 and 2021 as well.
Yes.
So I want you to explain what the financial year is, what are the taxes that we need to keep in mind, what is the VAT. So for the people who have no idea, it will be very helpful for them.
Definitely. And I think this is something we should be very understandable of, because how you tax and what your tax does definitely works on your cash flow and your finances as well. So the two main things that you need to worry about is, if you're working as a limited company, then there are taxes related to your company. But then whenever you take out money for yourself, there will be implications of personal tax. Now, again, the reason you need to differentiate is because the period for them is different. Now, let's start with individual ones. So let's say I have a company, I have a job, or I'm working as a self-employed, and I take money out of my business for my personal use, paying bills and, my leisures and stuff. So any money that you've earned between 6th of April in a year until next year, 5th of April. So from April to April, 6th to 5th, all of the money that you have earned in that period personally will be taxed in the coming January. So, for example, 6th of April 2020 to 5th of April 2021, you will need to submit your tax returns and pay the tax on 31st of January 2022. So that's one of the main taxes that you will be paying, and that relates to all the income that you have earned between that period. Some of you, for example, majority of us, like on e-commerce, they're like, you have a full-time job, and then this e-commerce is probably like a side business for you. So what will normally happen is, when you get a salary from your employer, you're paying tax on spot, which is called PAYE, pay as you earn tax. So when you get your salary, you get the net figure, and your employer has taken all of the taxes and paid to HMRC on your behalf. But if you have a side hustle, or you have another businesses where you're taking money out, any money that you earn, this is the money that you need to declare and pay 20% tax on it. Now, there are two types of taxes: the normal tax, which is 20%, plus national insurance contributions, and then there are thresholds in during this whole period. So for the 1 year, any individual gets £12,500. So up until all the money that you've earned, £12,500 of it will be tax free. Anything above will be taxed at 20%. Again, there's another threshold which is up to £50,000. So anything between £1 to £50,000 will be taxed at 20%. Anything above, only on the additional amount, you'll be taxed at 40%. So there are those different brackets as well, and how you earn and what you earn during the period of 6th of April to 5th of April. The second tax that you need to worry about is your corporation tax, which I mentioned before. If you're working as a limited company, your e-commerce business is through a limited company. That limited company is taxed at 19%. And the way that is taxed is, whatever the business has earned throughout the year, you will get your sales. You will minus all of your expenses, whatever the allowable expenses are, like cost of buying the inventory, traveling, bills and stuff like that. You deduct all of that, and you will get the net sales at the very end. That net sale is taxed at 19%. Now that's a corporation tax. That's what you pay. And after paying the 19%, whatever is left behind, you can take that money out for personal use, or you can just keep on carrying the money and leave that money in your business. And whenever you take that out, you will be taxed on it. So those are some taxes that you have to pay while in UK and earning the monies in different ways. VAT, however, is a completely different thing. VAT is another form of tax, but it's mainly a tax that you collect on behalf of HMRC. So it's called a value-added tax. So the threshold for that is, if you have a sale of more than £85,000 in UK only, then you will be liable to register for VAT. And when you register for VAT, what you need to do is start charging your clients 20% extra VAT. That 20% is something that you're collecting on behalf of HMRC, and which needs to go back to HMRC depending on what you've agreed with them, but it's normally 3 months. So every 3 months, that 20% extra that you've been collecting from your customers will be going to HMRC. There's another thing that you can do with it, is something called input VAT. So if you're VAT registered and you're charging your clients VAT, then anyone who has charged you VAT, you can deduct that money off. So for example, for the same ingredients that you've bought, or same inventory you've bought, you might have paid 20%. So you can deduct that 20% that you've paid from the 20% that you've collected from your sales. And whatever is the remaining item left behind is something that goes to HMRC. So yeah, so those are the main types of taxes that you have to worry about. Your personal tax, your corporation tax, and VAT.
So as a director of a limited company, when somebody will set up a limited company, this is a very relevant question to what you actually explain. How can I actually, when I take money out of my limited company because it's a separate entity, if I need to pay myself, how can I do that, and how that process work actually?
Okay, so as you mentioned, when you are trading as a limited company, the limited company is a separate entity itself. So whatever the money it's earning, it's basically the money that is owned by the limited company. Now, as a director and a shareholder, you have the right to take the money out. So what you can do is, there are two ways to do this. When you're a director, you can take out salaries. Now you can do that on monthly basis and pay yourself salaries, and your company will deduct your taxes and pay HMRC the tax, and you will get the net figures. Now this is really good because I've seen personally with a lot of examples of my own clients that if you're taking out salaries, you build a history for yourself, and that history is used, if you want to take out mortgage, and then if you want to take out a loan or car or stuff. So salary is really good, but just remember that you're paying tax on spot on it. But the good thing is that salary is a tax deductible item. So when you're taking this money out as salaries, your company can reduce their profits by the same amount. The other thing is dividends as a shareholder. So after paying all the taxes through the company, whatever the money is left behind, you can take that out as dividends. And again, the dividends is taxed separately. Its rate is different, and their allowances are different. So if you talk about allowances, as I mentioned, everyone gets £12,500. Now, if you take that out as salaries or dividend, doesn't matter. The first £12,500 is tax-free. With dividends, you get additional £2,000 extra on top. So up to £14,500 worth of dividends can become tax-free if that's the only income you have. But the first £2,000 will be tax-free. So the two ways to take money out of your business is through salaries and dividends, and there is pros and cons for both. But you just have to see what your situation is, and what will be the best taxable benefit for you. Because remember, dividends is taxed at 7.5%, where the salaries are taxed at 20%, but the salaries are also deductible for corporation tax, which is 19%. So, and I'm throwing a lot of numbers out there, but what I'm saying is you need to sit down, take a pen and paper, and see which one of the combination is best for you, and how, depending on how much money you want to take out.
Okay, so let's say I have I mean, this discussion is never going to end, and this question always comes up. What is the best way to go, setting up a limited company or being a sole trader?
Again, it all depends what your circumstances are. There's no right answer or wrong answer. It depends at which stage of your business you're in, and which of the structure will be best for you. So I'll tell you some pros and cons for both, and then obviously we can see what would be the best. So for a limited company, as you mentioned yourself, when you form a limited company, it becomes a separate legal entity. What that means is that if the company takes out loan to survive for cash flow purposes, and God forbid something happens and you're not able to return that money to the bank, your limited company will be the one who will be responsible to pay all of that money back. You personally will not be held responsible, because as we said, limited companies are a separate legal entity. Whereas for a sole trader, if you take out loan and you're not able to pay back, bank can literally come back for your personal assets as well. So there's a bit of a protection on limited company. But on the other hand, you lose out on private information. So with a limited company, all of your information is public. So how much profit you're making, what is your balance sheet, and even if you're not careful with the address, sometimes your address can be public as well. So you have to find different addresses. With sole trader, none of it is public. So whatever you do is literally with you. No one needs to know except HMRC for the tax purposes. The second part is, with the limited company, you get a lot of tax benefits as well. So for example, if there's someone else who's helping you in the business, they can be a part of a shareholder, like your missus or your family member. They can be a part of shareholder, and they can take part of the profit out of the business as dividends. Again, for the first £2,000 is free, and all of that stuff. With sole trader, you can't go sole trader. The person who is the sole trader is responsible for all the profits and pay tax on all of it. One last thing I would like to say is that with limited company, personally, you're only taxed when you take the money out of your business for yourself. So imagine you did the whole year, you did all the business, and at the end of it, you were left with £5,000. Now, as long as you're not taking that £5,000 out of your business, you will not be taxed. Whereas with a sole trader, regardless of how much you've taken out from your business bank account into your personal account, whatever the final figure is, you will pay 20% tax on it. So to conclude, limited company for a long run, for a big businesses, and for more taxable side of things is a lot better. Whereas for a sole trader, is if it's a small business, is something you're starting new, there's a lot less paperwork, there's a lot less publicity to it, and it's simple and straightforward. So start with sole trader. When you grow big, consider yourself switching to a limited company. Zen, I can't hear you.
So, as a seller on eBay and Amazon, in the terms of bookkeeping, because HMRC tells us to keep the record of the things as well. So, what are the records of the things which we will have to keep? And this is the question which came in, and it is very relevant to this question as well. But if I'm buying something in a cash, like how to deal with these sort of things, what the record I have to keep, and if I'm buying something on a cash as well, how to deal with those things.
So if you are, so the first question is about the bookkeeping and what you need to do, right? So with the bookkeeping, the main purpose of the bookkeeping is to keep a record of everything that has happened in your business. So imagine you made a profit of, or you made a sales of £100,000. Now, a HMRC can knock your doors and say, what is the proof that you didn't make 120 and you're only declaring 100,000? So, how can you prove us that you did not make more sales than you're declaring? So for that purposes, the bookkeeping is what it helps you to maintain that data. Because imagine you start your business today and, 8 months down the line, you've made £100,000, but you wouldn't know how much you made like for 3 months ago. So that's where the bookkeeping comes in and helps you maintain that data on a specific day. So when HMRC comes in or anyone comes in and they say how much profit you made or sales you made on that specific day, you literally need to just open your accounting software and all the information would be there. Now, HMRC requires you to keep data for your business for up to 5 years. So they can open your books like up until the last 5 years. So that's why it's important to maintain and do the bookkeeping on a system that can recognize and maintain that data. Now, similarly, like I said, sales is important. After sales, you start reducing your sales by claiming a lot of expenses, marketing expenses, accountancy expenses. Now, imagine again the same thing. If HMRC comes and says you declared expenses of £50,000, do you have a proof of all of these expenses? How can you not say that you used a personal car and you claimed all of the money back? But if you are doing bookkeeping and you're keeping all of that invoices and receipts safe, and all of that is authentic and you can show them anytime, then HMRC will be okay with that. So basically, you're keeping a record of everything that you've done in your business to make sure that you have the proof of what you're saying, claiming. You hired someone 3 months ago for a 2 months job. You have a proof, you have pay slips all in place that you paid someone. You can't just say that I paid money out of my bank account. Who did you pay? HMRC wouldn't know. So that's why bookkeeping is important. And the other part of bookkeeping, so this is the legal and compliance side. The other side is business needs to know what they're doing at a stage of a point and how they will be doing going forward. So let's say today you've made, in the last 3 months, you made a sale of £5,000 each month, and each month your sales are increasing by 30%. This way you look at your books and you can see, you can project for next 6 months, this is what my sales would look like, and this is how much cash I would have. And on those bases, you can make strategic decisions on what to do next. But if you're just running without any information, and you're going to trip over because you don't know where you're running to. So that's why bookkeeping helps you to understand your business, your position, and then make decisions that are valuable for your business. You can do budgeting, you can do forecasting, you can do cash flow forecasting. So that's where the bookkeeping comes in and why it's important. Your second question was, if someone is spending the money through cash, how do they maintain it, or how can they claim money back, right? What data do they need? So again, there are two aspects to it. So if you're a VAT registered business, and you said, let's say you paid someone £100 and you're claiming 20% VAT on it. HMRC will not allow that. HMRC will say, even if you paid cash, you need to have a receipt for it, or invoice actually. An invoice should clearly say that there is a 20% VAT on this output that you've paid. So even though if you're paying cash out, you need to have all the invoices in place, and you use those invoices to do the bookkeeping. Now, what we normally tend to do is that if, for example, the director spends some money out of his personal bank account or out of his personal pocket, we, as an accountant, put all of that in director's loan account. And what we are saying is that the director loaned the company by spending his personal money. So as soon as the director provides the receipt for it, the company will reimburse the director. So the director bank account will become zero because the money went out, money came in from the company, and the company will record that invoice as actual expense. So the point is that as long as you have paperwork, regardless of you spending cash or through a bank account, you need the paperwork to back it up, and as long as you have the paperwork, you're okay to go.
I mean, that's good to know. And a lot of people will also say, you touched on that. Can I use my personal bank account to receive a business payment? Like,
You definitely can, but it's not advisable. Because imagine, again, I'm talking from a compliance side of it, but it's really important for business structures side of it. But let's talk about compliance. Again, HMRC comes and knocks your doors and say, I want to see how you do your books, and you say that I receive £20,000 on a personal account. They will want to see your personal account to make sure that you have declared everything. Now that's not a good situation, because your personal account is your personal data. You spend money on it, your day-to-day life on it. So you don't want anyone to see your personal information, basically. So it's not a good idea to use your personal card to receive payments, because then you have to show that one. So, and again, how do you manage that? So if you keep on receiving money in it, how do you make sure that all of the money that you're receiving in is business money, and someone did not give you just as a loan or something? So you need to make sure that you keep it separate for business structure purposes as well. So to answer your question, yes, you're okay to receive money, but it's not a good way to do your activities, basically.
Yeah, and I actually have heard it's happened to one person who was using their personal account to receive a payment from Amazon and eBay, and actually bank was the one was blocked his account. I mean, they release all the cash, but they told him this is not something you can do. You have to have a business account. So I think a lot of people, I mean, many people I have spoken to, they use it, but it's the bank. I mean, before HMRC say something, or you have to show your personal statement and all other expenses. I mean, that's often makes me think, like, when I need to borrow money from someone, like from a friend or something like that, or even I given money to somebody as a cash, and I need to receive that money back, and they say, okay, can I transfer it into your account? And I always like, before I have to think like, okay, if it's coming in a personal account, that's fine, because I don't have to, because my business account is completely separate. But if to going forward to your point, yes, if you are using the same account, then you just sort of have to justify each and every payment that you will receive in your account, and it can be very hard to do so, because over the period of time we actually forget what it was for. So I mean, that is completely understandable. Okay, so in the terms of Osome, as if someone want to use it for the bookkeeping and someone want to use it as their accounting software, how different it is for other competitor out there in the terms of usability, user friendly, or also in the terms of price, because we all want to save money at the end of the day.
Definitely. I think the best way to explain this is that in terms of pricing, what we're committing to do is grow with you. So rather than trying to charge you and get as much as out of you, what we're trying to do is grow with you. So that's why we have pricing based on sales revenue. So we have brackets. So if you're earning up to £25,000, we will charge you this much. If you're earning this, and what we're trying to do is so as you grow, we grow with you rather than we charge you hefty amount. Now this is for you it could be a great thing, but for it could be sometimes challenging, because someone earning £25,000 could be a very simple business, straightforward, big chunk of sales, and that's it. But in the same way, it's, £25,000, there could be like a thousand of products sold, and that means more work for us. So but rather than focusing on the work, we're focusing on how can we be a part of your journey and be a part of your success. And that's why we are different in charging our clients on price base. In terms of the whole experience itself, so what you get is a personal accountant and a personal bookkeeper, a simple to use app. So imagine you're using WhatsApp. It's literally the same as that. You get a chat box. You get to rate those chats. You get to see the text that your accountant has seen the conversation, and basically all you're doing is communicating to them through that chat. And we promise to get back to you within 24 hours, and and get back to you with a solution within 24 hours. So that shows the difference is that rather than just meeting you once a month like traditional accountants, we try to be there for you as quick as possible, and the promise is within 24 hours. The other main part is, so apart from communication and the ease of use, we are quite technical on things as well. So the only thing that you will do is connect your portals to us. Like if you're on Amazon, we'll connect our app to your Amazon. If you're Shopify, we'll do the same. And all you do is just relax after that, and we will bring everything over. From then on, you don't need to do anything. The only thing that we will ask from you is to send us invoices for any purchases you have done. Your sales side, your all online stores will be taken care of through the automation. So how we are different, we are quite reasonable in pricing. We are quite simple and easy to use, and more communicative. And you don't need to worry about anything else once you come over to us. You just focus on your business, grow your business, and we take care of the rest. And last part I would like to say is that we specialize in e-commerce. So we know exactly what you're doing and how to do the proper accounting and taxes for it. If you're you have some clients outside UK, we know exactly how the sales are going to come in and how to record them and show to you on your monthly management reports.
By the way, I will show you the app. I actually have I have the app now, so I will try to share screen and I will show you how the app work as well at the end. So it's very straightforward and easy to understand. This is a very direct question, but I'm actually going to take it because Sir Faraz has been with me ever since I actually started this channel, and for every live stream, he will be here as well. He's an Amazon seller and he's based in London, so I know because he's been watching me from a very long time, so I know him personally. It's a very direct question, but I think it's very important because why should somebody actually move from QuickBook to Osome as well? If somebody is using QuickBook at the moment for their accounting purposes, why would they move to the Osome?
Well, I think the answer is quite simple. QuickBook is a platform that they provide you. They give you the login details. You go in there and you get a really plain platform. You now need to start working on it on day-to-day basis to make sure your books and accounts are up to date. So you are the one who is doing the work. Whereas previously answering it, as I mentioned, with us, you just sign up to us and give us the links for the first time, and that's it, and forget everything else. To give you more a specific example, for example, you make a sale. When you make a sale on your QuickBook, the sale will not come automatically. You will have to enter that sale, and you need to know how to enter that sale. And you need to make sure you treat the tax correctly on that sale. Again, with the expenses, when you the invoice that you send to QuickBooks, it will not go and reconcile to your bank account. You will need to do it manually. You need to select the date. You need to select the transaction description, how to treat the VAT on that specific sale, is it VATable or not, and then press OK, and then find the transaction on the bank account and reconcile. So I'm just telling you all the steps that you have to do for every single transaction with Osome.
Yeah, I honestly have to jump in and say, because I used both of them, and as a user experience, I'm not saying because the Osome is the one sponsoring this video. I actually used both of the apps. Learning curve in the QuickBook, I mean, I have to be accountant to actually understand that. I can say that because I'm as an independent
Yeah.
person who actually looked at both platform,
Mhm.
because to understand those, I get so overwhelmed with the information that is there inside. It's not easy to use for me. So I will come around and say, I'm just gonna go, I'm just gonna have an accountant, because it's not user friendly, because I use both of the apps. uh, they've been in the market for a very long time, and for some people that might be the way to go for them. But I think personally, I don't want to spend a lot of time first learning the application, how the application works, and then actually use I mean, I have other better things to do in my life. That's why I completely agree on you, because QuickBook is little bit difficult to understand as a user point of view. I mean, obviously, I will show you the app for the Awesome, and you can make up your mind at the end of the day. But for me, I like all the style and how it is easy for me to actually use the platform.
And
So I complete.
one
Yeah.
thing that I would add to this is QuickBook. You just get QuickBook. With Awesome, you get accountants and bookkeepers with it, which is a big value for anyone.
Yeah, that is completely okay. So what would you advise someone who is just, let's say, starting out now on this journey? Because a lot of people, they are just starting out. They have an account on eBay, they have an account on Amazon, they're looking to start the Shopify store. In the terms of accounting, because nobody want to be in the trouble with HMRC or anything, what is the best way for them to actually start all this process right way? What would you advise them as an accountant?
Yeah. Before giving that advice, I think I'll try to answer the question of why do you need this side of the business. When you start a business, your main focus, normally should be finding the right supplier, finding the right platform, and doing the shipment and all of that. But why do you also need to make sure that your accounting and books are in place? And the simplest answer is that you need to know exactly what you are doing on your business, how your business is doing, what the health of the business is. So if you're bringing the suppliers over, you paid suppliers, £50, and then you're selling it for £100. Will you actually be making a £50 profit, or is there actually thousands of other things in between, right? So you need to know exactly, and you need to know, what the future will look like. Which should you continue on this journey? One of the simple examples I give to people is, let's say that you get a really good deal from your supplier, that he's giving you 50% off, and you have the cash in your bank account to pay that £50 off, pay that and take that deal and pay for that shipment. But do you think but is that actually your money, or do you own your supplies from the previous one? That's called account payables. Do you have enough payables that you can pay? Imagine you've paid that cash out, and now your suppliers are chasing you. That ruins your reputation. That ruins your cash flow. So you need to know exactly what your business is doing, and that's what you do from bookkeeping and accounting. What will happen is, so let's say at the moment you think it's not important. Once I grow, make a good business, then I'll hire the accountant. That's actually another misconception. What happens is, when you go to an accountant after a year end and say, I need my last 12 months bookkeeping done, plus can you do my accounts as well? The accountant will charge you the full year's accounting fees plus a premium to do all of that in one go. Whereas if you're doing it on a day-to-day basis, then your accountant is charging you only on the day-to-day basis. So to avoid that premium, and to avoid that financial aspect of it, it's better to do it from day one. And my advice would be to find a accountant who will be a partner of yours in this journey, rather than just trying to find someone who can just do your book quickly and submit your accounts and that's it. Find someone who will tell you exactly how you're doing in your business.
Okay, so the link for the Awesome is inside the description as well, and it's in the pinned comments as well. And every now and then, my moderator will put the link inside the live chat as well. You can actually book a free consultation and discuss, and they will see what plans are suitable for you, and then you can take it from there as well. So the link for that is inside the description and also inside the chat as well. So if anybody, I mean, you can book the call now, and obviously the call will come tomorrow. I think no, it's not working hours now. So the link is inside the description. I quickly want to show the app, like people know what they are getting into, how to use it for all that purpose as well.
Sure.
So while I put that on a screen, I want you to explain a little bit, and I will tell you like how I use it, and then what is the all things right there as well. So you will be able to tell more, and I want to learn more as well. So let's
Sure.
see. Okay. Da, 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 da. So this is what I actually like recorded in the things. So this is, I think it's a homepage where you can have the conversation with your accountant. So let's say you want to ask them something. What you simply do is just like a WhatsApp. You open up the app and you just start doing a conversation in there. So all the things like in the terms of previous history and everything will show right here as well. Okay. Does it? I don't think it's actually moving in the terms of.
Zen, are you okay if I show the app from my
Yeah,
side?
sure. If you have it, because the thing is, this is.
I think it didn't record properly, Shad. So yeah,
Yeah,
let me
quite
give it a
sure.
try and see if I can.
Okay.
Yep. So share my screen and there we go. So can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see your screen. Yes.
Okay, lovely. So this is the main homepage as Zen was showing as well. So again, very minimalistic, simple to use. So this is a demo company, for example. If you want to have a new conversation, let's say you hired someone new and you want to have a quick conversation on how to pay them and when you should pay them, simply click on ask something new and you can type a message here. When you type a message here, your message will pop up here and you will get a reply from us, similar to as Zen said, how we do on WhatsApp. Again, if you want to send us any information, you click on this clip button and you can get your computer opened and you can click and drag as many items as you want. Or if you're using your mobile phone, it actually opens up your camera and you can take a picture of the document and send it to us. But if I show you a bit of a history, so let's say whenever we have a conversation and the conversation is resolved and ended, you will see a green button on it, which means that you raised a question and we resolved it. At the each conversation, you can literally rate how the conversation went and it did the resolution help you or was it good enough or not. And each of this goes to our bosses. So they see how good we are and how clients are finding it. And if it's not good enough, then we always improve it. So this shows how valuable your opinion is to us. But if you see any of these conversation, like you can literally, if you want to have a conversation back to it, like about a VAT deadline, you click on it again and you can start the conversation again. So this is the chat system and how to communicate with us. Again, if you just click on ask anything new and say, I want to book a consultation with my accountant, within 24 hours, you will get a slot and we'll be on phone with you on the next day. On the left-hand side, you also get a dashboard. Now, this dashboard gives you a quick glimpse of what your business is doing. So you don't need to go back and forth on different platforms. You can simply go to your dashboard and see how much total cash you have in your bank accounts, and how much you owe to the people. So this shows there's 16 invoices and the total amount is £9,000, 9,900 pounds, and the breakdown of it will be down here. Similarly, if you have invoiced people, your customers, and you're waiting for money from them, again, another small glimpse of how much people owe you and which of those people owe you. So then you get a small dashboard to just quickly see what your business is doing. And because we do bookkeeping on 24-hour basis, this is very updated. So if any transaction happened yesterday, next day you'll be able to see the latest information about your business. Now, this is a tab that I'm really proud of. And again, this is something we completely differentiate from other accountants and the softwares. These are all the transactions that are outstanding on your bank account, which means that we are either waiting for invoice or an explanation from you on what that is. So what happens is when you make a transaction from your business bank account, it automatically comes to us. So you don't need to tell us that you have spent money. It will come to us, and we'll know that, for example, on 26th of May, you spent 2.20 on Atrium car park. Now, if it's a small thing like this, we will reconcile it without asking you, because we know it's a straightforward thing. But imagine you spend £1,759 on 20th of April, and we don't know what that is. So what you can do is you can simply click on the button here and go to the comments and start writing it, that this is from my Amazon sale or something. And when you write this down here and send it to us, that's all. We will reconcile it based on this conversation. What else you can do is, once again, these are all updated there. If you have to upload a document to a specific transaction, a blue button will come up. As soon as you upload the document, it will say in review. So basically, this tab, accounting tab, is how we reconcile your transaction. And again, to keep it simple and straightforward, we maintain it all here. You can comment on each transaction. You can send the documents through it. Again, once you click on it, your camera will open up, and you can simply take a picture of it and send it to us. This way, you're compliant because you're saving everything on our systems, and your bookkeeping is up to date as well. Third option, last option, is the file tab. So anything that you send to us will be stored up here and is GDP compliant. And you can literally search for it, categorized by dates. This is just to keep track of all the documentations that we have exchanged with each other. Again, it's like a Google Drive that everything is saved up here. And that's all you need. These 4 or 5 options up here is all you need to do your bookkeeping and accounting done. Rest of it we take care of.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there are literally very simple things. And in the file section, the thing that you talked about, your favorite tab, it is actually one of my favorite tab as well, because this is where you can actually ask, as an accountant, you can ask me, okay, this is the information which is missing, so I only have to worry about that not that it's happened very often. And then all the files and everything, if I need to, like a receipt or anything, it goes inside all the file section. Like all the record is there already as well. So yeah, that's the thing about the app. This is how simple it is. And again, I said the link is inside the description. And also, let me put the link inside the chat again. Timur, do you have something else to say? You want to add something?
No, I'll just simply say that everyone is being really courageous and trying their best to do this side hustles or be the actual business on e-commerce. It's for most of us, it's very new. And it can be sometimes daunting, because you're using your real money to get the business done. So hiring an accountant not only means to getting your books done on right and be compliant, but it also means to find someone who can help you in this journey as well. So that's what we are trying to achieve. We're trying to build an ecosystem where all you do is focus on your books, and where we take care of all of your other financial burdens in terms of how your business looks like, your compliance and taxes. So please feel free to book a small consultation with me, myself, or one of my colleagues, and ask anything that you want to regarding your finances and businesses, taxes, and we will take it from there.
So I think you are a partner with Xero as well. So the question, this one, I want you to answer: does it sync the data from a bank account like the QuickBook does?
Definitely. So once we link in your bank account, all the transaction will come in automatically. You don't need to worry about sending us any specific statements. We do, however, tend to ask you statements on a monthly basis just to check if the accuracy is right of the automation, but everything is done automatically.
And another question: is it possible to speak to someone first? So yeah, I mean, from the link, all you do is you don't buy any services. You book a free consultation first and see what you need, and then they will suggest you some. If you click on the link, it will take you to the page where you can actually book the call. So yes, it is possible to speak to somebody first, and then see what works for you, and then you can find something together.
Yeah, I'll
So
try
but
to persuade you to become a client of ours, but it's not necessary. It's your choice.
yeah,
So you book a consultation, and if you feel like this is something for you, you stay on. Otherwise, there's no strings attached to it.
yeah. So it is a free consultation. You so what's happened when somebody actually click on it and book a call? I mean, how the things works from your side?
Yeah. So what will happen is all of this links will go to our sales team. So
Okay.
they're not only just sales; they're sales expert in accounting. So they will try to answer majority of your questions, and if there's anything more technical, then they will book a consultation with me, and then I'll jump on the call, and then we'll talk about your questions and how to fix things. And again, after that, if you decide that this is something valuable, you then tell us, I would like to become your client, and then we start the onboarding process from there. But the first session is free of cost because they're coming through your reference.
Yeah, so that thank you so much for that. That's it really. What I will do is I will try to get Temur now if he will be free next month, hopefully. And in the meantime, if you will have any question, anybody who is the part of Facebook private group, you can ask me there, and I will forward to the to it to the Temur as well. And if you missed the question, you can ask the question inside the comments as well, and if I know the answer, I will obviously answer, but I'm not an accountant or anything. If it's something too like I will believe it's too like complicated and have more legal obligation to it, I will ask them more. You can ask them inside the chat. Anyway, I hope that they're more gonna be joining us next month now. So we will definitely meet again. Thank you so much again. The links are inside the description, and the links I shared it many times inside the chat as well. And thank you so much. And I will see you next week on Sunday 7 p.m. again, and we will see them more after 1 month. So in the meantime, we gather up more questions for him. Thank you
Thank you.
so much for watching, and I will see you soon.
Thank you, everyone.